AEW Dynamite continues to be boring and bland, and this was no exception. There were a couple of okay things on this show that happened. It just basically set up stuff for Forbidden Door. Let's just go ahead and get into this review. So, we kick the show off with MJF. So, he shows up. He runs down Hangman Adam Page, including a mention of how he lost the title the first time when he defended it. So, Hangman points out sternly that to Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, that the Seabiscuit story ends with the horse winning. He calls MJF a dumbass before telling MJF that he's not here to fight or execute that contract for a world title shot. He can go home and admit he doesn't have the stomach. So MJF demands a mic that Hangman hasn't touched. He tells the crowd to shut up. He says they're good and bad. They're subjective, but MJF isn't the problem. Hangman Adam Page is. So MJF runs down Hangman over the fact that the fans act like he's an infallible god. MJF learned from earlier. MJF learned from an early age that an all-powerful God cannot be all good, and neither is Hangman. So he tells Hangman that he's not a god. He's a weak-minded, depressed, alcoholic little boy. MJF doesn't have a problem with being called the devil, as he'd rather be that parroted around to be a phony, a false idol like Page. MJF believes that he's real before saying he can take back what's his in the world title and take the wolves in sheep clothing off of Hangman. So he ends by saying he's going to take everyone's God and crucify him. Hangman says that he understands the point he's trying to make, but MJF doesn't seem to understand that no one knows Hangman's faults more than he does. Somebody look at his past mistakes, but he won't. He'll own up to him. He tells MJF that he keeps acting like he has a match at Forbidden Door, but what he has is a contract that he can execute. MJF says that he's a day one guy in AEW, so he should know that AEW is about going all in and to do so do it. So then he suckers MJF into this. So MJF basically just gives in, and he accepts the match at Forbidden Door. So it's going to be Hangman and Forbidden Door. It's going to be Hangman and MJF at Forbidden Door, which is fine. It makes sense. Okay. A little bit early for that, but this should be saved for All Out in September. But it is what it is. What's 5 weeks, really? Whatever. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night. Jon Moxley defeats Kevin Knight via Bulldog choke or whatever. Who gives a fuck? So there's a massive brawl that takes place. It involves Speedball Mike Bailey, Darby Allin, Willa Yuta, and the rest of the Death Riders. So Will Ospreay shows up, who apparently is still injured or whatever. And then Darby Will Ospreay challenges them to a 5-on-5 steel cage lights out match. So, it is what it is. That's fine. I guess it's going to be their little version of War Games or Blood and Guts. That's fine, I guess, but Will Ospreay should not be wrestling. If he has 2 herniated discs in his neck, he should not be fucking wrestling. How dumb is that? Do better, Tony. Please do fucking better. This then leads us into the 6-woman Tag team match. It's Mercedes Moné, Thekla, and Sky Blue versus Alex Windsor, Miss Ospreay, Queen Amanada, and Willow Nightingale. Who wins this? The babyfaces win. I don't care about this shit at all. It's a waste of time. Moving on. So Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to be in the match as well. So whatever. I don't give a shit. Tanahashi can barely walk, man. His knees have gone to shit. I mean, it's sad, you know. Tanahashi used to be good years ago, but that was many, many years ago. I mean, the man could barely walk. But, you know, it is what it is. Because New Japan now is just filled with bums. You know, this Forbidden Door partnership needs to end. It's not a good partnership. All Tony Khan has done is raid New Japan up its top stars, you know, from Will Ospreay to Jay White and others, and that's all he's done. So this is not a really good partnership at all. It really has not been a good partnership, but whatever, who gives a shit? Moving on. This leads us into Edge versus Stokely Hathaway. So Edge wins via DQ. FTR, they get involved. They throw some powder in the referee's face, calls for the bell. So FTR, they beat up on Edge. Christian Cage comes out to a massive pop and reaction. So Nick Wayne attacks Christian Cage with a steel chair. But Christian Cage, he had the 2x4 with nails in there, a.k.a. Janice, a.k.a. Spike. So then the heels, that being Nick Wayne and them, they flee. The matriarchy, they flee. So Edge and Christian, they stare at each other for a brief moment. A hug it out chant breaks out. So basically, Edge drops the chair, Christian Cage drops the spike, and then they hug each other. They embrace really quickly, and the crowd pops. But this was in front of 1,500 people when this should have been done in Canada, which is where All Out's going to take place. This should have been done in Toronto, Ontario, but it's not being done there. Dumb. I don't know, man. We should get an explanation as to why they reunited, but we're not going to. And I don't like that. I really don't. So, whatever. Moving on. So, this leads us into an 8-man tag. So, it was Hiromu Tanahashi, Hologram, Brody King, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Kyle Fletcher, the Young Bucks, and Josh Alexander. Who wins this? The babyfaces win. I don't care about this shit. Enough. Just moving on. So this leads us into Swerve Strickland. So Renee Paquette, she was going to interview him earlier on, but there was another audio issue. Yay! AEW still has audio issues after being around for 6 years. Not good. I mean, WWE does that from time to time, but AEW, it happens almost every fucking week. But it is what it is. It happens. Shit happens. So Swerve is asked about his match against Okada at Forbidden Door. So Swerve says it's his top priority. Even folks might be worried about him needing to slow down. So Okada shows up. He stares down Swerve. So Okada then calls Swerve a bitch, and then they start to have a little brawl. Well, no, Swerve shoves him, and then security breaks it up. So whatever. I don't care about this shit at all. Then we are going to get at Forbidden Door, Christian Cage and Edge. They're going to reunite, and they're going to take on Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This infuriated me so much. Nick Wayne is not a star, and Kip Sabian is a fucking jobber. I am tired of this bullshit. It's so stupid. This is dumb. This is absolutely dumb. But whatever. I mean, we should have got the reuniting at All Out in September. Again, you have 5 weeks until that event. You have more than enough time to continue to tell the story and to reunite these guys and to do the hug moment and everything. You can do all of that at All In. I mean, my bad, at All Out. It just makes sense. Whatever. Main event of the evening. The Ops, they defeated LFI. They win. So who cares? I don't care about this shit. The babyfaces win. So, as the show was about to go off the air, Hangman had a real brief interview with Renee Paquette. MJF shows up, attacks him from behind, beats him up, throws him into the hood of the car. So MJF asked Hangman Page if he remembers when MJF said he'd break him, and then MJF says he ain't seen nothing yet, and that was it. So, that's fine there. But all in all, Dynamite was boring. It was trash. It was garbage. It was a waste of time. This just set up stuff for Forbidden Door. All the matches were trash. All of them. I don't care about these 8-man tags, these 6-woman tags. That shit is nonsensical. Fuck that shit. So, it is what it is. Forbidden Door seems like it's going to last for probably 17 hours. I'm just exaggerating. Forbidden Door is probably going to start at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, on next Sunday. It'll probably last about a good, probably 5 hours. And this is going up head-to-head with NXT, and they're doing Heat Wave, which is probably going to be about maybe a good 2.5 hours, if that. So, whatever. But again, I don't care about that. Oh, before I forget, AEW and main roster of WWE, they're going to go head to head again. This time it's going to be it's going to be on the 20th as well. So WWE is going to do a pay-per-view. So that same night that AEW is having All Out. So that makes sense. I know people are going to bitch and moan, but it is what it is. You can watch them both. You don't have to pick one or the other. So whatever. Who cares? But Dynamite continues to be boring and bland. This was lame. Edge and Christian reuniting. I'm not really into that right now because it's way too soon. They don't need to be on Forbidden Door at all. Christian Cage should not be putting over Nick Wayne. He's not a star. Kip Sabian should not be there. He should be released. Not being mean. Just do something else. Pro wrestling is not for him. So whatever. But what did you guys think of Dynamite? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.